Well, good morning, everybody. I have, just to start, tilted my camera. Well, I lifted it up just a little bit and tilted it forward to continue on the hotel boutique, or the boutique hotel. And the reason I tilted it and lifted it is because last time I was holding this up the whole time as I was putting pieces on, and I figured just by lifting it a little, now you can see much better at what I'm doing, and now I can actually push the pieces down instead of doing it later. And not only that, when I hold it like this, it's flexing and pushing the pieces back out that I've already pressed down. Let's just get into it. This is what we've completed so far. This is just, it looks, this would be the sidewalk. Remember, this is a corner modular. And I'll bring out big boxing just to remind everybody what we're creating. And so we're making the boutique hotel, and it is a corner module. So this is all we've done so far. Let's continue. Let's build. Let's not delay this anymore. I'm bringing out the manual. I'm putting that over there. I'm bringing out my handy Lego sorting box. I can put that up there. And I need Legos to build, don't I? Bag 2, video 2. I haven't put these in order yet, so I'm just going to dump them all out and find the bag 2. Not that one, not those, not that, nope. I should really sort these. That way I don't have to do this each time. There's bag 2. Checking to see if there's any other bags with 2 on it. Nope, just that one today. One bag, and I'm pretty sure there's some other little bags inside. Okay, get out the GAN cube. It is sunny today. This is nice. But sometimes it's bad for video because it starts out in the background. So I'm just going to turn that one up. I think that's good. And okay, put the big pieces in here. Little pieces, little bags in here. Open up the book. We always start off, well, not always. Usually when we're doing modulars, we create a character every bag. I mean, so far. Not always, though. But today we will. And the little note says, the bellhop was happily help carry, I'm sorry, I'm reading this all wrong. The bellhop will happily help carry your luggage up the hotel's stairs to your room. Don't forget to give him a tip. Well, we're creating a bellhop. We need a little hair. We need a shirt. And remember, the people in the hotel, this fancy hotel, have white gloves. Here's our last one that we created. So they should have the same outfits. There's a happy little guy face, a head for the guy, and pants. Pants. Let's put the shirt on the pants, the head on the shoulders. Oh, this bellhop has a mustache. He is fancy. Mustache and white gloves. There we have it. Our second minifigure. I'll put them right there for now. And to start, we're not doing anything on here. We're creating what the bellhop uses to transport luggage. So let's just put this here. Turn it a little bit. There we go. And start off with a 2x4 plate. Okay. Actually, yeah, 2x4 plate. Then we need to start pulling out pieces here. One of those. So, okay, one of those, and that just goes right here. And then we need 2 of these little bench Legos. So, there's another one. There it is right there. Nope, that's not it. Looked the same when it was upside down. There we go. There's the other one. And one more of those. Okay, so we line them up like this. Let's get a little light on that so you can see. Place it on here, and that last one on the other side. Okay, now we're going to flip it over. Flip! And on the bottom we're going to place 2 of these. Now these are a 2x2 round piece with some clips, interesting clips on this side, and those are going to be used for some wheels that we're going to add in just a second. So let's place them underneath on either side like that, and let's grab those wheels. I haven't used these before. It's a new kind of wheel. I wonder what other Lego sets these have been used. They also look like weights. Maybe if there was one with a weight, like a strongman minifigure, maybe he could lift this. But these are little wheels at the base of this. Okay, now turn it back around again. Set that just to the side for a second because we're going to need four of these. Wait, there's different sizes, so I'm not going to mess this up. No, this is a little bit longer. We're going to need two of those. That looks like a 4M. Let me measure. Yeah, it's a 4M. This would be a 3M right there. So we need 4 of these ones. There's 3M. And only 2 of the 4M. Okay, we're going to need 2 more of, where is it? There's 1. 2 more of these again. Oop, that's too far out of frame. I got to remember that I have it tilted down, so I can't go that far anymore. There it is right there. All right, we got 2 of those. And then we need 4 of these little, there's a clip on top and a hole in the bottom. Not a big enough hole for a I lost what the thing is called. My brain's gone. Pin. Yeah, it's not big enough for a pin to go in at the bottom of these, but there is a hole down there. There should be 1 more. And there we go. So let's set those off to the side. Those will be last. So take take 1 of these and 1 of these and put it on the 3M little staff thing. and use this and push it through like that. Okay, and do the same on the other side of that same one that we just built. Push it through. Now the clips, I did incorrectly. They need to be like that. All right, so I'm gonna make one more of those real quick here. And that was quick enough. Okay, I'm gonna face that way. Okay, so now we have two of these. They go in to these first ones. There's little holes for each of them, like so. Just push them down into place like that, and do the same on the opposite side here. There we go. Okay, and then these two, they go on those clips on top. And these are the 4M staffs. There we be. Okay, that completes that, and that's what he takes the luggage around with. So, yeah.
May I take your luggage up to the room?
Hey, at the very beginning he says he'll gladly take it up the stairs. I'm sure that he can't take this up the stairs. So there's got to be a elevator for that. I wonder if we'll remember that at the end to see if there's an elevator or not, because that can't go up the stairs. All right, let's put you guys off to the side. Now we're back to this. Now, if you remember from the last video, I'm going to go try to show you everything from the front point of view, so you're looking at the front. And since it is a corner modular, I'm not going to be holding it like this or like this. I'm going to be holding it just like this, because that, I mean, there will be points where I'll have to turn it when I'm building in just specific areas, but I'm going to try to keep the front at you most of the time. Yeah, that's a much better view than yesterday. You can look down and see where I'm putting stuff. Let's start off with 4 2x4. The problem is I tilted it so you can't see where I'm putting Legos now, but I can fix that by bringing them back here more. So 1x4, we're going to need 4 1x4s of these tiles. And 4 of these tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep them in somewhat of an order. 1 1x1 tile, same color. 1 button in black. Single. Oh, stop. Just side and upside down is not what I want. There. Wow, how is that so difficult? Now we need 2 2x2 jumper plates, and I learned that last night. I read about that because I was referring to these as plates with a single button on the top. Well, they're called jumper plates. And from now on, as long as I can remember, I'll refer to them as the name they're supposed to be called. 2 of those. Now we need 9. Same color as that of these 2x2 plates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I also found the correct way to call these corner pieces. We still refer to them as 2x2, even though it has that corner cut out, so it's a 2x2 corner plate. We only need one of those. Now we need 8 1x2 plates. We're still in that same color. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And is that it? Yep, that's it. Okay, so we're going to be filling in right back here. And I'm going to tilt it just a little bit because I'm going to start over here in this corner. In this corner, I'm going to start with that 1x2 plate in this color, and I'm going to keep following it for 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to skip one button, and do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Now, next row below it, I'm going to use these. I'm going to start with the 1x1 plate here. Use this color and start over here. And then grab a 1x4 plate in the same color. And I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3 buttons and then put another 1x4. And then we'll leave it at that for now. Let's come back here and throw in a 2x2 plate. Not a plate, a 2x2 tile. And we'll do 2 more. So there'll be 3 total. 1, 2, 3. And then skip 1 row of 2 buttons. You'll see what I mean in just a second. And do 3 more. So we got this cross thing going on here. So skip and 1, 2, 3. Now come back here again. Let's do another one, but the next one's going to be a 2x2 jumper tile, or referred to as plates. I think it's tile. I'm already confusing myself. And then do another 2x2 tile. Skip again, jump over, and do a 2x2 tile, a 2x2 jumper tile, and finish it off with this 2x2 tile, just like that, leaving, no, I have this backwards. Here's where we bring this out. Pop this up. It's hard looking at it and keeping it at your point of view and thinking in my brain, this is how it goes. So it goes like this right here, okay? I'll lift it just to show you. Is there a shine? I'll put a shine on it so it's easier to see, maybe. Oh, come on. There. Okay, that's what we're doing. And then in that little spot, that little gap that's left over, place this black button right there. All right, now let's come back here and finish this off with 2 1x2 tiles right there. That's all we need. Now coming back to here, we're going to start using these, and the first one is going to go like this. See how it fits into that corner? I'm going to bring it up like that. How did I press so hard? That wasn't even that hard of a press. Just like that. And the other one's going to go right underneath it to finish that little X there. And then right here, down this way, we're going to use this 1x4 tile. And over here, we're going to do the exact same thing that we just did right here, making the X with these pieces. So like that, and then like that. What did I do? So remember how this is all, I'm doing this all opposite of what I'm seeing in the instructions so that you can see it? Well, I'm going to finish this off and tell you that everything here is correctly set. It's just in the wrong place. So this 1x4 plate goes here. Now, all this that's against this side of these bricks is supposed to be right here. I need to remove everything that I just did, pick it up exactly how it is, and put it right here. So it should be right here. So that's where this comes in handy, to speed things up, where I've made mistakes, where I need to cut out pieces of video and stuff. Let me fix this mistake. And I'm back. I think that's the biggest mistake I've ever made. Usually I get a couple pieces in and then realize, hey, I did that wrong. That was a whole section. And we just placed it along here, or I'll take the blame, just placed it along here when it should have been all along here. And I didn't realize it until I placed the last piece, which we were doing over here, and realized on the instructions that this piece was touching these pieces. And I go, wait a second, that's not right. So, sorry. Now, I do hear employees around the building. So when they pop in, I'm, like always, I want to continue talking rather than make it a silent film. I'll just cut and then we'll just continue. It'll still be, I'll just put the video together later, but it will still be all one video, I guess. We'll get it done, but I might have to just stop, and maybe next you'll just see a jump scene to where I'm in different clothes or a different day or something. We'll see. But they're not in the office yet, so let's continue as much as we can. We're going to need a 2x2 plate, one of those, 3 2x2 tiles, 1 1x2 tile, same color as these, a 2x4 brick, and a 2x3 brick, but we need 2 2x3 bricks. So those tiles again, those funky tiles, and a 1x1 tile. Okay, now we're going to use this wall with these pieces. All right, taking a look here, I'm going to start at the base of this one and use this piece. Oh man, I keep putting it out. I'm going to use this piece right now and let it take a turn back to this wall here. And right at the end of that, I'll put that other 1x1 tile there. I'm going to fill this spot in with a 2x2 tile, and then that leaves a space for this 2x4 brick. Right next to it goes the 2x3 and another 2x3, but not lined up with them the same way. We'll just turn that and put it in like that. It looks pretty far away. I'll bring it in. Now, right here in this gap between these two 2x3 bricks, we're going to put this 2x2 plate, the red one. And with these, we're just going to place one here and one over here, the 2x2 tile. Right here, we're just going to put this last 1x2 tile here. Yeah, that looks good. I'll bring it in just in case you weren't able to see. But the more I bring it in, the more blurry it is. So I can only bring it in so much. Okay, next project, we're filling in. We're going to go completely down to here. Let's see here. This is a lot of tile pieces. Let's see if we can do it, even with the employees around the building. They're not here yet. We're going to need 4 of these tiles in the white. One 1x2 tile and 15 same color of these corner. I think these would be referred to as a 2x2 corner tile, but it has the corner missing. So we need 15 of those. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. One 1x1 tile. And we're going to need 16 more of these corner pieces, but in black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 7 2x2 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 2x2 corner tile, same color. 3 1x2 tiles, same color. And 2 1x1 plates, same color. Keep the colors with the colors. There we go. Boop. Okay. So I'm going to follow I'm going to turn it to you this way, and we're gonna follow this red 2x2 plate so I don't get confused. So right underneath it we need a 1x2 tile, and right next to it on this side a 2x2 tile, and right underneath that one a 2x2 tile. So right up here we're going to take a 1x2 tile and kind of finish that off. Bring it in a little bit more. then over here, we're going to do a 1x1 tile to start in that color, then a 1x4 tile, and at the base of it, we're going to use one of these 2x2 corner tiles with the corner missing, the point missing, I should say. And we're going to face it so that it goes towards this wall here, points that way. And since we're talking about that wall, we're going to put one of these 1x1 plates there. Now just fill this spot in right here, this empty spot, with 3 2x2 tiles. 1, 2, 3. There. Looks nice. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start with these little corner 2x2s without the points, and I'm going to put one of the no point ends butt up against the other no point end like that, and I hope that makes sense. It makes that cross, that X right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start following it around this way, because we're making a design, a fancy design right here. So going this way, the next one we need is the same thing. We're going to use a lot of these, that's why I'm going to go around. But this one is going to curve up, and right next to that one that curves from that up position down, right next to that one, you're going to put it butt up against that other one right there. Kind of see what I'm doing. I wish I could get that light on there so you can see. I'm going to do it the wrong way. There we go. Okay. And we're just going to kind of do that opposite thing all the way around here until we create something like this. If you don't know, so they're going kind of back and forth like this. Yeah, if I could get one, if I could get them looking both to you. So we're going kind of like this, dit, and then dot, dat, dat, all the way around, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. There's that, and then put that there, and then that goes there, and this goes here, and this goes here. No, nope. This goes here, then this goes here, and this goes here. And what we're creating is that cool, you can see that shape right there. I'll bring it in a bit more so you can see how these corner tiles are set up against each other. And so with these, we're going to be filling this area in. So starting at each of these corners, we're going to start with a black corner piece. Boop, 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 like that. Now we have new corners, because now we have a square, see? Now with these new corners in this square, we're going to take 2 of them and put them like a tent almost, like, if I can show you what we're going to do to fill the corners. These points will fill the corner, put them right beside each other and fill each one of those corners. I'm making this more of an instructional video, I've noticed, just starting on this Lego set, and that was not my intention. I want to go back to just talking as I build and not having to worry about what the pieces are named and all. So now after that, we have a new square now that we've done that. And with that new square, each point of that square is going to be filled with a white corner piece. And what do you know? It's going to make another square. Right? And in that middle, we just use the last four pieces. Where's my... There it is right there. The last four pieces of the black. And there's only one way to fill it in, really. If I can do it right. Yeah, there's only one way to fill it in. And now we've created a fancy little tile area inside the hotel on the flooring. Now we have some extra pieces here. Not extra as in we throw them away, but extra pieces that we need to fill in here. So let's continue down the side here. I'm going to bring it in where we left off with this 1x1 plate. We'll take a 2x2 tile, fill in that spot, a 1x2 tile in that spot, another 2x2 tile, and right there you fill it in with this last 1x1 plate. Where does this one go? I have a corner, an extra corner. It goes right up here, right in this leftover area. And we're going to put it just like that. Very, very nice. We got a lot of more tile work to continue. A lot of this, you see how this design is just kind of following, it's kind of just this color right here is what I'm referring to, not these center pieces, but these colors are just continuing. Well, it's going to continue straight down. Yeah, here, and then there's going to be another one across here. It's going to look all pretty much similar laid out in that way. And that's all I have to say about that. Now with these next pieces, we are just filling in what I just talked about, this whole area right here. And let's do that. Let's do that. So we're continuing down. And I'm just going to pull my pieces out. I'm not going to call them by name. Maybe I will by accident. I'm going to need 3 of these. Wait, this looks pretty... Yeah, 3 of those. Two of these. Three of these. One of these little buttons. 3 of these. One of those. 13 of these. I'm going to put them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, and 3 of these. Yeah. Yep. All right. So I'm going to use these first because I know the design is going to repeat. So I'm going to start off with going over here, right here. It's going to be the button. And that should leave room for one of these. And then going over here to right here should be one of these. We're going to create that X. Like this. Right. Yes. And then right here, one of these. I think it's about time for me to end my video. It sounds like the employees are coming in. Not end the video permanently, but end it for the time being. One of these, and then there should be one of these. And then this should go right there like that. Ta-da! See what I mean about the pattern? That'll make it easier for me to fill in these spots. Let's start here. 3 of these, pretty easy. 2 by 2 tiles. 3 of those. This spot, also filling in with that. This spot, same thing. And right next to it is going to be a 1 by 2 tile. Now we've completed that. Let's go over here. So starting over here, let's do the 1 by 2 tile. And that leaves space starting at the top here for one of these, 1 or 2 by 2 jumper tile. And just take these 2 by 2 tiles and fill in that area. Now we have a spot for this piece right here to go around that button. Now we're just going to fill this in. So starting at the top here, so over here, let's start over here. One of those, the 2 by 2 tiles. At the bottom, 2 by 2 jumper tile. And then over here, we're going to start with a 1 by 2 tile, 2 by 2 jumper tile, and the rest of these just fill them in with the remainder 2 by 2 tiles. Wow. Fancy little hotel floor. Are we done with tiles for today? It looks like it. Maybe there's a couple more. Now we'll need 2 of these. A 2 by 2, not 2 by 2, 1 by 2 plates. A 2 by 3 brick and 2 2 of these 1 by 3 tiles, and these 2 go on top here, right next to each other. Looks like we kind of created a box there, and that little box goes right in this corner back here. Just turn a little bit. Boop. And then these two. Boop. Well, good morning. There has been a couple of days from when I guess whence works, when I last just kind of stopped recording until now. I'm guessing maybe 5 days, but I'm not sure. It's not how long I wanted to do that gap between now and here, but it doesn't matter to you because it just jumped from that time to now. So all we're doing is continuing on. So we need for the next step, making sure, we need for the next step some blue pieces. Let's take a 2x3 brick and a 2x2 corner brick and a 1x3 brick. Okay, on top of this blue one, I can set this off to the side just for a moment. Just for a moment here, because we're creating something separate from that at the moment. And what we're going to do is take this and place it like so on here, and then take this one and do that. All right, we need another 2x3 brick, and that's going to go right under this piece that's hanging over, like that. And two more of those pieces we just used before, the corner and the 1x3, and 1x3 goes right here where the corner left off, and then the corner goes right back that one. That leaves kind of a gap underneath. And now we need this little guy and this little guy. That's a 1x2 with a hole in it. So that hole goes right here. Bloop. Like that. And where do you guess that one's going to go? Right here. Put it in there like that. Okay, let's grab one of these. Two of these. These pieces are easy to find. They kind of stand out with the rest. From the rest, I should say, not with the rest. And then we need a 1x3 tile. And let's see, with the hole here, we need to do it like this, and do the same on the back side, like that. And on the front here, we'll place that little tile. On the back, the 1x3 brick. There we are. Okay, we need to move this a little bit more, just because I'm over here now. Now we take two of these clips, whoops, 1x1 clips on top. One of these 1x3 tiles, and I call them croissant pieces, a white croissant, and place that croissant in here. Okay, and then the clip pieces go on either side here at the back, and then this tile piece goes right here to cover up these buttons, like that. Now we're going to need two of these. These are 1x3 It's smooth on the bottom. It's like a tile, but the buttons are not inverted. You can see what it is, like that. And one of kind of the same thing, but it's a 2x2. No, that's not it. But do I need that piece? I will. That's a 2x3 tile. Here's the one I was looking for. It's kind of the same thing. It's a 2x2 tile, but the buttons are on the bottom. And 2 of these with the handle, the 1x2. And so let's start building. Let's take this piece first and put one like that. And this goes right next to it. Am I doing this right? It should be like that. And underneath should be 2 of these. 1, 2. We're just making it smooth all around. And then, just like that. And some lighting on it. It's kind of hard, but you can see it. You can see what I've created here. And we place that in these clips right here with the showing buttons side down. So it's like, I know what this is. It's a garbage bin. And that probably is a croissant, even though it's not croissant colored. Here's a side note. This croissant was found at the Parisian restaurant in the 10243 set. But why would anyone want a moldy croissant? That's why it's white. It's moldy. It's a moldy croissant, and this is the garbage bin. Let's bring our base back in, and this goes right next to the box that we've placed in with its back against that box. Now I see why that hole's there. Remember, these holes that are in the side connect to the other modulars so that they can clip together nicely. That's why we have that there. See the 2 holes here? Well, the next modular will have these pins sticking out, so you could just clip them into place. All right, let's do a little flip-a-do back to the front view. Excuse me. I need 5 of those. Those are 1x6. 3, 4, and 5. 2 of just these 1x4 bricks and a little singular one. Now, starting with that singular one, we're going to go right here at the back where this corner is, and then we're going to put the 1x4 here, and the next 1x4 it's going to corner, going to turn that way, and then the rest of these should just follow along all the way until this point, and I'll show you. So we got that goes all the way to the corner back there, there, and there. Oh, we're going to need some more of those. So the exact same ones. There's 5 of these. Two of those. And then that one right here. So exactly what we just did last time. Now, let's start over here again, but this time we're not starting with the little piece. We're going to start with a 1x6 that goes all the way to the corner. Next to that, 2 of these next to each other, the 1x4 bricks, and then another one of those. And at this corner we can continue all the way down until we have one spot left for this little guy. Boop. We need 2 of these rounded pieces, which is, if it was square, it'd be a 3x3 plate, but it's got the rounded edge. 1 of the 2x2 corner. We're going to use a 1x2 half cheese slope. Yeah. 1 1x1 plate, and 1. Browns are hard to see because the shadow that they're trying to show of, you know, the buttons that are on there almost match. And then a 1x1 brick with 1 button on the side. So that would be, would that be considered a snot piece? Maybe. It's just got the button on the side. You can see it right there. Let's start with this piece, and we'll put this 1x1 plate here, like that. And then we're going to take this piece, like that. That's what it looks like so far. And on that little button right there, we're going to put that slope like this. Okay. And then these 2 just get stacked on top of each other. And we're back in this corner here. So you see that red one right there. That red one right there. These go right into that place, like that. And then, remember that little corner that we left? Never put anything on? Well, that's where this goes. Right into there. And it pushed that a little too hard. A little too hard, John. Stop that. Okay, 2x4, 3x3. We need it's really windy out. I could hear the doors opening and closing because the wind is blowing so hard. One of those, one of those. One. These are we just need a lot of pieces, single pieces of different kinds. Am I getting out of frame? I'm okay. What am I missing? I'm missing one more, like this. Okay. And since we're still working back in this area, I'm going to scoot a little bit closer to you. And I'm going to turn it this way. Hopefully you can see that. Well, let's start with this piece right here. We know it's going to go right here along this edge, just like that. And then wrapping around here, we're going to use this corner piece, which just falls into there. I'll show you. And then this 3x3, well, let's get this one out of the way, the 2x4. That's just going to sit over here, right on top of the other 2x4. And then this just fills that place. I'm going to tilt it up. Fills this place up. You know what? I bet those are going to be stairs. I bet you that's what's going to happen there. And the 2x2 tile goes at the back here. And then this 1x2 tile goes and fills in that gap. And then we have this last piece here. And ooh, where do you think it's going to go? Can you spot it? Right there. Good job. Okay. Let's build some more stairs. We're still working on this area, so let's just keep it. Let's just keep it like that. We need, excuse me, 2. There they are, right on top of each other. 2 plates and 1 plate. No, 2 of those also. And so with these, just stack them on top of each other. And also stack these on top of each other. Now these, so I see what we're doing. We're going to build some fancy schmancy stairs. Now this is going to go up against the wall here like this. No, don't listen to me. Not all the way up against. These are going to go back on the back up against the wall just like that, and then this will go right in front of that piece. There we go. Tilt it up a bit. Two 2x3 bricks. 1 1x4. A jumper. Tile with 2. It's 2x4. No, sorry, 2x2. We need another one of these. I hope you can see these. It's that piece. Mirror image. A little tile, and then this little piece of pie piece. And so obviously we're going to take that and just go around the edge like we did down there, and that little piece of pie is going right behind it. I'll show you. Get some light on it. It's kind of nice. And then these two are going to go just like this right next to each other to create the next step up. And then this one was going to fill that back area. And then we have this piece, which is going to go right, it says, in the middle of those, like that. Now we set this aside because we're creating something, and I don't know what. Let's grab a plate 1x6, 1x2, place that on top of there. One by 12, that's a long one. Just place it on top right next to that 1x2. You got that little gap underneath. And we need wow, this is a 4x6 plate. We need another 1x6 plate. We're getting down to the pieces here, so we're about done for today. a 1x4 plate. And so this 1x4 plate, starting here, is going to be right under there, like that. So we still have a gap to fill. Now this is going to go right next to it, but it's going to go to the back side. And so we now have a gap that's only 3 buttons long. And once we put this on right next to that other one, we only have a gap of 2 buttons left. So we got that right there. And we need a 1x4. And we're just going to leave that guy just like that. Boop. And that's that. But we're not done. Just a page turn away from knowing what to do next. We need a 1x4 and a 1x3. Now 1x4 is going back on top. Now we have a gap underneath still left. Put that 1x3 underneath. Now we have a little gap for just a 1 button gap on top. You can see that. It's not a, yeah, we'll just call it a gap. And then put that here. We need this. We need 2 of these. These are some 1x4 plate or tiles. 2 of those. I'm going to get some hinges here. I only see 1. Do we only need 1? We only need 1. There's a little hinge piece. I'll show you my little hinge. Well, that's all the pieces in here. So 1x4, and then this corner plate. Is it out of front? Now you can see it. Okay, so let's see. Let's start with this. In the middle, I'll take this 1x4 in the middle. No, it can't be in the middle. Let's start in the middle with one of these little tiles. How can we start in the middle? There is no middle. Don't just do it like that. There is no way to get one smack dab in the middle. There. Now we have the middle filled. So anyways, just follow my lead. There we go. And then next we do, making sure I do this correctly. If that's there, then this has to go like this. So we'll put that there. Oops. Stop that. Like that. Then this like this. And underneath, place this one like so. And then this, put it on here, just like that. There's that little hinge piece. Okay. Now, this piece hanging off is going to go right here, like this. So, that's what we've created. Now, we need to bring this back in. Man, sorry about the grumbles in my my throat. So this hinge piece is going to go here on this bit right here. So it's gonna go. Do I have the hinge backwards? Let's see. If it's like that, now that should be right. Does it go on that piece or? So, yeah, that's right. That's right. So that little hinge piece goes right there. Clip it into place. Right on top of there. And then this should, so let me pull this off so I can explain a little bit. there's little buttons around here that have been created. These little black buttons here, and this white one. So we're going to create an angle, and this long piece right here is going to go right down here and fit onto these. So it's going to go, you can actually see the division in the floor. The wall is going to go like this, and then this is going to be the entrance to the hotel. So put that back into place, and you line it up with that piece back there. So I'm going to take that and line it up with that, and then push it into place. Push it into place. Oh, that just goes right nicely in there. There it is. Very nice. And then, oh, that page is stuck together. Wow, it really is. Oh, they never even cut it. Weird. So they must print these like this and then put them in half and then slice them. And that completes today, video 2. So, this is what we've built so far today. And not much. Oh, bring out the characters. That was our first video, and he's with our second video that we built today. Let's put him out here first. He's got the big load to take up the stairs. Anyways, thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Later, Gator.